Hi everyone, Rita Eggleston here, and I'd like to do a quick video on some hints and tips, do's and don'ts for Instantly Ageless. I saw, or people contact me all the time and they are questioning how it works, or they say, I use my whole sachet of Instantly Ageless and, it didn't work for me. Well, how did you use it? So, and I know, I love our tips, and as distributors, we talk, or if you have a client base that I've dealt with a while with our skincare line, it's easier because we have that communication point. So I wanted to do a quick video just so that we have a little bit of communication going. One of the things, and this is just basically what my card looks like on the back, and it's just basic information. None of my big tips and stuff are in there because you start writing too much, it's going to get so thin, or the font is going to be so tiny, people aren't going to be able to read it. So what I wanted to do is go ahead and just do a quick video. So, okay, so just so you know, this is called the sachet. This is the Instantly Ageless sachet. There are 50 sachets in one box of Instantly Ageless, okay? One sachet, one of these, has approximately 2 to 3 uses. It will last anywhere, depending on your skin type, I would say 4 to 8 hours. Again, it depends on your skin type. It depends on what you're doing. So that's why I give you that range, 4 to 8 hours. Each sachet, there's different ways to open it. So we're going to go through the different various ways to open the sachets. The very simple, common way known is just simply take some scissors, slice it open, or just rip it open right there. That is not the way I like to open it. I tell my clients, my customers, to take a sewing needle and to bend this a little bit, and you can actually create a tiny little hole. It will not, you do not want to puncture all the way through. You only want one side. That gives you a nice tiny little hole. That way, when you squeeze the product, only a little bit comes out at a time. So you can really control the amount, and you can control how much is still in the sachet itself, which I really like. So you can simply, now we're going to talk about applying, different ways to apply. Now that you know that there's various ways to open, there's various ways to apply it as well. The most common way that you see in a lot of the videos is just simply take it off with your finger. You can either mush it with your finger like this, you can mush it like this, whichever way you want to activate the product. You can then apply it the way, you want to kind of tab, and you can, rub a little bit, but you don't really want to rub it in. So you want to just tab it on where you want. So tap, 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 wherever you want it. Okay, so that's one way to apply it. Another way that some people have had some really good success is with an angled brush, an angled makeup brush. Make sure that you're only using this for your Instantly Ageless. Again, that tiny little amount, you just take it, put it on your brush, dab, 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 put it onto your skin, whichever way you want. When you are done with it, and after you've applied it, immediately just rinse it out with some water so the product does not dry on there. So that's another tip. The third way that I like also is this brush. It's a little harder of a brush, a little stronger, so you can really take your product and really get in there and get in with the fine lines and wrinkles very well. Because the brush is so hard, it's not just going to mush into the skin, and you can actually dab it, so it's kind of hard like your finger, but not hard that it's going to hurt you. Again, when you're done, rinse it out. Okay, so now that we mentioned about the rinsing out and how the different methods for applying Instantly Ageless, once Instantly Ageless is on your skin, you're going to want to leave it mostly wet. What does that mean? You want to be able to fan it, to dry it, to get it to work. You don't want to rub it in. You don't want to tap it to where it's completely dried on your skin. You want to be able to fan it dry because, again, it's 92% water. It's a drying product, so it needs to activate to dry. So you want to leave it wet, and you want to remain expressionless. This doesn't mean all night you're going to have to be expressionless. What it means is anywhere from 2 minutes while you're drying it Two, and we all know this, when your skin's still a little damp and you're like, oh, I'm dry enough, and you throw it on your clothes, you're still damp. Well, same with the product. So give it a good anywhere from 2 to 6 minutes to really remain expressionless. Whatever you're doing, do your hair or something, while you're letting this product really dry after the 2-minute mark. And then you're going to notice that you can smile, laugh, do whatever you want, and there's not going to be any of the problems that some people are saying. The other thing is, if you use too much of the product, you're going to have a white residue. Doesn't mean that the product didn't work, or it just simply means you use too much. So you just want to use less. That's why I always said start with this tiny little amount, because less is more with this product. So, which is good because you get more uses out of one little sachet. So it's fantastic. If it's also your first time using it, you're really going to have to play around with it. So you're going to want more than just one sachet. One sachet will give you a few uses to try it. So keep that in mind. It's basically like learning how to use makeup. When you learned how to use makeup, you don't put it on the same way you did when you were 13. You put on your makeup a little different. So I'm trying to give you some hints and tips, do's and don'ts, so that this will make it a very pleasant experience for you and that you have some ideas. Always reach out to your rep and ask them also for tips. They're going to have some great, phenomenal tips. And if they're local and you can meet up somewhere, meet up at Starbucks and let them put it on for you. See the difference. Okay. Another tip that I have is do not use any oil-based makeup with it. Do not use the product with an oil-based moisturizer. Check your products, check your labels. If you're not sure, go online, Google ingredients for whatever the product is that you have. Oil and water don't mix. It just doesn't. It's very, very hard to get your oil and water to mix. So you're going to want to stay away from the oily products. So what I would highly suggest is I use our skincare line. I absolutely love the Luminous line. So, and that does not have any oil in it, and it's a phenomenal product. So now that we're going into the moisturizer, this is another tip. Moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. You do not want to put a drying product onto dry skin. It's simply just going to be too much, and it's just going to pull away from, it's just not a good, it will work, it will pull it out, and you will have, the bag's gone or whatever, but it's a drying product. You're going to have a better experience with a nice moisturized skin. There's, you've got the three different, your skin types. You've got your dry skin, you've got oily skin, and you have a combination. I have a combination. The T-zone, hello. But I understand that, and with our skincare line, it also understands that. So it's just amazing. So anyway, make sure you moisturize before you put on the product. Let the moisturizer completely dry before you try using the product. Okay. If you decide, if you got some really deep wrinkles around the mouth and you want to use the product, which you most definitely can, just remember when you eat or drink, the product is 92% water. It'll probably deactivate sometime during the day because it got wet. Not a problem, nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. Have your product with you. You can reapply it after just, a little bit, wipe your mouth, make sure you wet it so that, it deactivates the product completely. Let that dry. Go into the bathroom, go ahead and, put it back on. Another tip I have is, because we made the little pinhole and you want to save your product. So with that little pinhole, I just take a piece of Scotch tape, put it right over it. So you can throw this now in your purse, whatever, and take it with you, in your wallet, probably better than just throwing it in your purse, but put it in your wallet, whatever. And then when you want to use it, you just simply fold back the tape. So I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of clear. So you just fold back the tape. Okay. Again, if you decided to tear it off right here, you would just fold it over and use a paper clip. Okay, so that's ways to get more uses out of it as well. What are some of the other things that I had people say? If you put it on and you notice a white chalky residue, it means you use too much. Don't want that. So Just wet the skin, wipe it off, because remember, it's water, 92% water. Just wipe it with a wet damp rag to deactivate it. Let the skin dry. Put a little more moisturizer. Let the skin dry, and then go ahead and put on your moisture or your Instantly Ageless. If you do decide to go ahead and buy a box of Instantly Ageless, you're going to have 50 sachets. So by the time you get through the 50 sachets, you're going to be an old pro at applying it. You're going to know how it works wonderful for your skin. You're going to actually notice the difference. Quick story, my mother-in-law, she uses Instantly Ageless. She loves it. She also uses our skincare line, but she loves Instantly Ageless. And she's a heavy smoker. So she has the wrinkles and stuff, and she puts it on, and it lasts her 8 hours, 9 hours, and people notice right away. They're like, you look fantastic. So, and she buys it by the box, and she's a very good pro at applying it, and she knows what works well for her skin and her skin type. I hope all these tips have helped you. I hope if you have any questions, keep messaging me, and I will try and do another video on the tips that I have. I hope that these tips make you go from never using Instantly Ageless to absolutely loving it. And I really, really hope that each of you have benefited from watching it. I also wanted just to tell you real quickly, I want you to never forget how beautiful you are no matter what.